Hey everybody, so I just want to talk to you a little bit about today something that some folks have a difficulty with in the Bible. And I used to be one of those people. And see, the Old Testament has a lot of what we might call difficult texts or difficult passages that are not quite easy to stomach, particularly when we look at commands of Jesus like turn the other cheek and love your neighbor as yourself and those sorts of things. When we read that, and then we go back to the Old Testament and we read other passages that say things like, oh God, break the teeth in their mouths, and blessed is the one who dashes your children against the rocks. Both of those, by the way, are in our beloved book, the book of Psalms, right? That even makes it into those little bitty New Testaments that the Gideons pass out. So right there, that's not even like the parts of the Bible that have like genocide and murder in them. We're talking about the Psalms, the same book that has things like the Lord is my light, right? God guides me, God leads me, those things. Well, so what do we do with these passages? What do we do with the passages that say things like, oh God, break the teeth in their mouths, and happy is the one who repays you according to what you did? Well, I want to tell you, these passages, they're called imprecatory psalms, absolutely saved my faith. I grew up in a family, a pretty abusive family. My stepdad was a deacon in the church and highly regarded in the community and a great evangelist. People were always getting saved when he talked to them. But this deep, dark secret in our family was that he was difficult to be around, okay? It was a dark, dark time. He was angry and just, it was bad, okay? And so I struggled with this whole idea of like, okay, if that's what a Christian is, if a Christian is someone who just says the right things and people like him, but at home, he's a monster, what do you do with that, right? And in my church context, I was told things like you need to submit, you need to be obedient, um, respect your elders, that sort of thing. It was never helped me, right? They never helped me deal with the abuse. They never helped me deal with the anger and the rage that was in my heart because of what I saw this person do to my family and to me, right? And so when I became a Christian, I struggled with that. I struggled with what do I do with these feelings and these emotions, right? If God wants me to be this happy-go-lucky person who loves and forgives, I don't know how to do that, right? I didn't know how in the world I was supposed to forgive and forget. I didn't know how I was supposed to get rid of these feelings of anger and rage. And that's when someone introduced me to these passages right there in the Bible where you have prayers that gave voice to the feelings I was feeling. You have prayers where people ask God to bring justice on our behalf. And I'm telling you guys, that revolutionized my life. It gave me finally a voice to communicate with God how I felt. And it also gave me confirmation and validation that, you know what? Sometimes people do bad things to you, and you can pray that God will judge them. You can pray that God will bring about his justice, right? Now, there are other things to deal with too, and I'll get to those later in a later video. But right now, I just want to say, if you're finding yourself in a situation where you have been abused or you've witnessed someone abusing someone else, and you think, well, I just need to forgive, or I just need to tell that person to forgive. Yes, absolutely. There is a place for forgiveness. 100%. God is very clear about that. But we can't just rush off and try to hide or try to bury the valid and real feelings of injustice and hurt and anger that come from experiencing abuse, right? And the good news is God doesn't expect us to do that. He gives us right there in Psalms, right there, he gives us examples of prayers of how to give him these things, of how to express to him our feelings of anger and rage and frustration and hurt. God is not scared of that. He's given us a model for how to express those things to God. And so we'll talk more about how to reconcile these passages with Jesus's command to love. And we'll talk about Jesus's use of imprecations or curses himself. But for now, I just want you to know, if you have been abused, if you know someone who's been abused, these psalms are for you. These psalms, oh God, break the teeth in their mouths. Oh God, do to them what they've done to others, are for you. They give you a way to express the hurt and the pain and the injustice to God. And for that, I'm grateful.